If you're over the age of 55, I want you to take a quick look around your kitchen. Right now, there's a very good chance a silent killer is hiding in plain sight. No, it's not some strange chemical or a new food additive. And it has nothing to do with how clean your counters are. It's an ingredient so common, so ordinary, that you and your family have been eating it every single day of your lives, probably without a second thought. But the science is now undeniable. For those of us in this age group, our bodies have changed. And our relationship with this one ingredient has become surprisingly dangerous. A study of over 500,000 people found that habitually adding this to your food could actually shorten your life. So, stick with me for the next few minutes. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, where it's hiding in foods you'd never suspect, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself and your family starting today. This isn't about scaring you, it's about empowering you. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And this knowledge could very well save your life. The silent killer we're talking about is sodium. Yep, simple, ordinary table salt, and all the sodium that's packed into our food supply. Now I know what you might be thinking. Salt? Really? I've been hearing about salt my whole life. My doctor already tells me to watch my salt. What's the big deal? And you're not wrong. The warnings have been around for a while. But what is new, and what is so critical for us, is the mountain of evidence showing that a dramatic shift happens in our bodies after we hit our mid-50s. The rules of the game have changed, and playing by the old ones is a losing hand. Let's get into why. Why is sodium so much more dangerous for us now than it was at 30 or 40? First, our blood vessels start losing their youthful flexibility. Think of a new rubber band versus one that's been sitting in a junk drawer for years. The new one is stretchy, the old one is stiff and brittle. When you eat a lot of salt, your body holds onto extra water to dilute it. This extra fluid means there's a greater volume of blood pumping through your arteries. In a younger person's flexible system, those vessels can easily expand to handle the pressure. But in our less flexible post-55 circulatory system, that same pressure becomes a relentless, damaging force. It's like cranking up the water pressure in old pipes. The system strains, it weakens, and it raises the risk for a catastrophic failure, a heart attack, or a stroke. Second, our kidney function naturally starts to slow down as we get older. Our kidneys are the body's master filters, and they're in charge of getting rid of excess sodium. When you were younger, your kidneys were workhorses, but after 55, they just don't work as fast. So when you eat a high-sodium meal, that salt hangs around in your system for longer, forcing the kidneys to work overtime. This constant strain is a devastating cycle. Weaker kidneys can't clear sodium as well, which leads to higher blood pressure, which then further damages the kidneys. Cutting back on sodium is one of the kindest things you can do for your kidneys, giving them a much-needed break. Third, our bone density becomes a huge concern, especially for women after menopause. And believe it or not, salt plays a major role here. To get rid of excess sodium, your body sometimes uses calcium to help with the process. And where does it get that calcium? It can leach it right out of your bones. So, a diet high in sodium is literally working to weaken your skeleton, increasing your risk of osteoporosis and fractures with every salty meal. And the science goes even deeper. A 2022 study published in the journal Global Transitions uncovered a frightening link between high-sodium diets and a greater risk of memory problems in older adults. Think about that. The same thing that's stiffening your arteries and weakening your bones may also be clouding your mind. The evidence is overwhelming, and it all points in one direction. A national effort in the United Kingdom to get people to eat less salt was followed by a significant drop in deaths from both stroke and coronary heart disease. For our age group, it's clear, excess sodium is a poison. So, if it's so bad for us, why are we all still eating so much of it? The problem is, most of the sodium we eat doesn't come from the salt shaker on the table. In fact, that only accounts for about 6% of our intake. The real culprit, the source of over 70% of our sodium, is the salt that's already packed into our food before we even buy it. It's hidden in processed foods, restaurant meals, and packaged goods, often in places you'd never dream of looking. The American Heart Association says the ideal sodium limit for most adults is just 1,500 milligrams a day. That's less than 3/4 of a teaspoon for the entire day. The absolute upper limit is 2,300 milligrams, yet the average American eats over 3,400 milligrams daily. We are a nation drowning in salt, and it's happening silently on our plates. You might be carefully avoiding potato chips and French fries, thinking you're in the clear, but the food industry uses sodium for a lot more than just flavor. It's a preservative to make products last longer. It's a texturizer to make them feel better in your mouth. It's a processing aid to make them look more appealing, and because of that, it is absolutely everywhere. This is the real problem. It's bigger and sneakier than most of us realize. You can have the best intentions and still be unknowingly flooding your system with this stuff. But that stops today. Knowledge is power, so let's turn on the lights. We're about to go on a tour of your kitchen and expose the biggest, most deceptive sodium traps that are sabotaging your health. By the end of this, you'll be a master sodium detective. We're going to start with one of the most shocking culprits, bread. That wholesome-looking loaf of whole wheat, the bagel you had for breakfast, the dinner roll with your salad, they are loaded with hidden sodium. How is that possible? Bread doesn't taste that salty, and that's exactly what makes it so sneaky. We don't think of it as a salty food, so we don't pay attention. But salt is essential for modern bread making. It controls the yeast, strengthens the gluten, and extends shelf life. The result is that a single slice of bread can have anywhere from 80 to over 200 milligrams of sodium. Now, 200 milligrams might not sound like a crisis, but who eats just one slice of bread? Let's do some quick math. You have 2 slices of toast for breakfast. That's up to 400 milligrams right there. Then for lunch, you have a sandwich on 2 more slices. That's another 400. You're at 800 milligrams of sodium, and we haven't even talked about what's in the sandwich yet. You're already more than halfway to your ideal daily limit of 1,500 milligrams, just from bread alone. This is death by 1,000 cuts, small unnoticed amounts that add up to a dangerously high total by the end of the day. The solution. This is where you put on your detective hat. You have to start reading the nutrition facts label on every single loaf of bread, package of bagels, or container of rolls you buy. Your mission is to find the brand with the lowest sodium per slice. The numbers vary wildly between brands. Look for options labeled low sodium, which means they have 140 milliliters or less per serving. Better yet, think about alternatives. Can you have oatmeal or a smoothie some mornings instead of toast? Can you use big, crisp lettuce leaves as a wrap for your sandwich? Making these small swaps can slash your sodium intake without you feeling like you're missing out. Canned goods are a pantry staple. They're convenient and they last forever. A can of soup seems like a light, healthy meal, and a can of green beans feels like a virtuous choice. But you have to understand, the canning process is a sodium minefield. Salt is the ultimate preservative. A single serving of a popular brand of chicken noodle soup can have over 800 milligrams of sodium. If you eat the whole can, which most of us do, you could be getting close to 2,000 milligrams in one bowl. That's more than your entire ideal daily limit in one comforting meal. Let that sink in. One bowl of soup can be more damaging to your blood pressure than everything else you eat all day. Canned vegetables are just as tricky. That can of corn or peas might seem pure and simple, but check the label. You'll often find 300 to 500 milligrams of sodium per serving, added just for preservation. Even canned broths and stocks can have over 900 milligrams per cup. The solution. This category offers some of the easiest wins. First, when buying anything canned, soups, veggies, beans, your new mantra is no salt added. Most big brands now offer these versions. Reduced sodium is a step in the right direction, but no salt added gives you total control. Second, for canned beans and vegetables, there's a simple trick. Rinse them. Studies show that rinsing canned goods like beans and tuna in a colander under cold water can wash away a huge amount of the sodium, in some cases up to 40% or more. It's a 30-second step that makes a massive difference. Finally, embrace fresh and frozen. Frozen vegetables are typically flash frozen with no added salt. They're just as nutritious as fresh, often cheaper, and last for months. Switching from canned to frozen or fresh is a game changer. Silent killer number 3, processed and cured meats. This is the deli meat for your sandwiches, the bacon and sausage for breakfast, hot dogs, and cured hams. These foods are notorious sodium bombs, and for good reason. Salt isn't just an ingredient here. It's fundamental to how they're made. Curing is all about using salt to preserve meat. Take deli turkey. It seems like a lean, healthy choice. But just 2 ounces, a couple of thin slices, can pack anywhere from 500 to over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Let's go back to our sandwich. We had up to 400 milligrams from the bread. Now add 800 milligrams from the turkey. We're already at 200 milligrams. And we haven't even added cheese or condiments. You can easily hit your entire day's ideal sodium limit in one healthy lunch. On top of the salt, many of these meats contain nitrates and nitrites, preservatives which have been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. It's clear that processed meats are a major threat to our long-term health. The solution. The best strategy is to reduce and replace. Think of processed meats as an occasional treat, not a daily staple. For sandwiches, use leftover chicken or turkey that you've roasted at home. You can make a big batch at the start of the week and slice it up for lunches. Egg salad and tuna salad are also great options. For breakfast, try moving away from bacon and sausage. Eggs are a fantastic low-sodium, high-protein start to the day. If you crave that savory flavor, try sautéing some mushrooms and onions with a little smoked paprika to mimic the taste of sausage without all the salt. Small changes lead to big results for your health. Let's keep moving. This is where the hidden sodium really ambushes you. You've made a beautiful, healthy meal, grilled chicken, a baked potato, a big salad. You're feeling good. Then you squirt ketchup on the potato, pour barbecue sauce on the chicken, and douse the salad in ranch dressing. In those few seconds, you may have just added over 1,000 milligrams of sodium to your healthy dinner. Condiments are super concentrated sources of salt. Soy sauce, 1 tablespoon can have over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Ketchup, 1 tablespoon has around 150 milligrams, but who uses just one? BBQ sauce, just 2 tablespoons can have over 350 milligrams. Salad dressing, many bottled dressings have 250-500 milligrams in a 2 tablespoon serving. Pasta sauce, a half cup of jarred sauce can have nearly 500 milligrams. It's the ultimate act of self-sabotage. You do all the hard work, and then you unknowingly ruin it with the sauce. This is how people who eat healthy can still have high blood pressure. The solution: read labels and make your own. In the store, you have to compare brands. Always grab the lower one. But the most powerful solution is to make them yourself. It's surprisingly easy and tastes way better. For salad dressing, just whisk together olive oil, vinegar, a squeeze of lemon, and some pepper. It takes 60 seconds and has almost no sodium. Instead of jarred pasta sauce, sauté some garlic, add a can of no salt added crushed tomatoes, and season it with oregano and basil. For marinades, use olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and fresh herbs like rosemary. Your taste buds will wake up and you'll start appreciating the real flavor of your food. You're taking control of your health, one sauce at a time. Let's wrap this up. This last category is the most devious because it preys on our good intentions. These are the foods we choose because we think they're good for us, so we let our guard down. Let's start with cottage cheese. It's been hailed as a diet food for decades. It's high in protein, low in fat, and loaded with sodium. Salt is added for flavor and preservation. A single half-cup serving can have 350 to 500 milligrams of sodium. It's not uncommon to find a single patty with 400, 500, or even 600 milligrams of sodium, and that's before the bun and condiments. Finally, sports drinks. They're marketed as the key to hydration. But what are electrolytes? Primarily sodium. A standard 20-ounce bottle can have over 200 milligrams of sodium. For an elite athlete, that might be necessary, but for the average person over 55 who went for a brisk walk, you're just drinking sugar and salt. Plain water is almost always the better choice. The solution? Again, it's detective work. Look for no salt added cottage cheese. Compare veggie burger brands and pick the one with the lowest sodium. And unless you're doing intense, prolonged exercise and sweating buckets, stick to water. It's what your body actually needs, and it has 0 sodium. Okay, that might seem like a lot to take in, but I want you to feel empowered, not overwhelmed. You now have the knowledge you need, and the plan is actually pretty simple. Part A. Become a master of the label. The nutrition facts label is your best friend. Make reading it a non-negotiable habit. Look for the serving size and the milligrams of sodium. Be realistic. If the serving size is half a cup of soup but you eat the whole can, you have to double the sodium. Learn the lingo. Sodium-free, the best. Less than 5 milliliters per serving. Low sodium, your target. 140 milliliters or less per serving. No salt added. Fantastic. Only contains the tiny amount of sodium that's naturally in the food. Part B, flavor without the fallout. Your taste buds will adapt, I promise. After just a few weeks on a lower sodium diet, food starts tasting more vibrant. You'll need to rediscover the world of flavor beyond salt. Herbs are your new best friends. Basil, oregano, rosemary, cilantro. Spices bring warmth. Cumin, smoked paprika, chili powder, black pepper. Acids add zing. A squeeze of fresh lemon or lime juice or a splash of vinegar brightens everything up. Garlic and onions are your base. Sautéing them creates a savory foundation for almost any dish. And take the salt shaker off the table. Breaking that mindless habit of shaking salt on your food before you even taste it is a huge step. Part C, the salt substitute solution. There is a product that science is showing to be a game changer: potassium enriched salt substitutes. These products replace some of the sodium chloride with potassium chloride. The results from major studies are incredible. One found that people using them were 40% less likely to develop high blood pressure. The World Health Organization now officially endorses them as a public health strategy. However, and this is critical, salt substitutes are not for everyone. The extra potassium can be dangerous for people with kidney disease, certain heart conditions, or who are on specific blood pressure medications. So, before you even think about trying one, you must talk to your doctor. They can look at your health profile and tell you if it's a safe option for you. Part D, dining out defensively. Restaurant meals are sodium nightmares, but you can still enjoy them. Ask for no added salt. Many kitchens will do this for simple dishes like grilled fish or steamed veggies. Get sauces and dressings on the side. This puts you in control. Dip your fork in the dressing, then get your salad. Don't pour it all over. Be wary of words like pickled, cured, smoked, or teriyaki. These are code for very salty. Choose fresh over fried. We started by talking about a silent killer in your kitchen. But it's not really the salt itself. The true killer is a lack of awareness of the hidden sodium and how our bodies change as we age. Today, you gained that awareness. You know now that for our age group, cutting back on sodium isn't just a small tweak. It's one of the most powerful, life-extending moves you can make. You have the power to take back control from food manufacturers and become the guardian of your own health. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Start with one thing. This week, find a low-sodium bread. Next week, swap your canned soup. Every small step is a huge victory. If you found this helpful and want to keep learning how to thrive after 55, click that subscribe button, and I want to hear from you. What was the most shocking source of hidden sodium you learned about today? Let me know in the comments. Your story could help someone else. Thank you for investing this time in yourself. Stay curious, stay empowered, and I'll see you in the next video.